On March 25th, 2017, I did something I had been wanting to do for a while but never thought I'd actually have the courage to do. I made my own YouTube channel. The idea was for Emagination Productions to be a place where I could share all sorts of creative projects. I'm talking music, world building, conlang, storytelling, comedy, anything and everything my heart desired. Unfortunately, in the absence of a camera, a microphone, proper editing software, or any technical skills whatsoever, the best I could really do was upload songs I had made with this music notation app I found called MuseScore. I originally wanted to upload my music using an app called Synthesia because that was what BGH Music, a channel I watched a lot at the time, used. Unfortunately, every time I tried to download Synthesia, my computer crashed. Instead, I used MuseScore, which wasn't a problem for me since I can read sheet music, and there were other channels I admired like Emagination Productions who also use MuseScore. My first upload was Prototype, a song I had recently made on the keyboard and the first of my original songs to be uploaded to the internet. I first transcribed it in the MuseScore app, then uploaded it to my account on MuseScore.com before finally uploading it from there to YouTube. Over the following weeks, I continued uploading music from MuseScore's website, plain and simple. But from the very beginning, I knew I wanted to make the videos more visually interesting. This is YouTube after all, not Spotify. One strategy I used to make my videos stand out was coloring the staffs in MuseScore, as seen in A Tale of Strings, Reign of Terror, and the original but no longer available upload of Midnight. The other was to make use of YouTube's own built-in video editing software for creators, which was at the time known as YouTube Video Editor. Basically, what I would do is upload a song to YouTube, then go into YouTube Video Editor to make whatever changes I thought would make the video pop, and re-upload it. Usually this meant adding a filter as seen in Corrupted Fairy Tale and Royal Presence, but as it turned out, this strategy could be used for much more than just pretty filters. I first started making cover art for my songs in May of 2017. Because I'm not an artist, and this channel is on a strict budget of $0.00, the only thing I could use to make cover art was Google Drawings, which I still use to this day. This resulted in at least 2 songs being uploaded twice, Midnight and Reign of Terror, and if you scroll down to the oldest videos on this channel, you can still see 2 different uploads of Reign of Terror, one with the staff colors changed in MuseScore to resemble the flag of France, and one with a rotated flag of France as the background with the title of the song over it in blood red. This was also the beginning of a branding shift in the channel. Before, every video started on a black screen with the song's title and my actual real name beneath, but when it came time to start making cover art, I decided to use the name of the channel, Emagination Productions, not my actual name, putting it directly beneath the title. This trend didn't completely stick at first, as you can see with Ode to Joy remix, but by the time of my next plain MuseScore upload, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star remix, I had decided to completely erase my IRL name from all videos going forward. I'd never figured out how to cover it up in the older videos though, so it remains up there, on the internet, forever. Sometime between those 2 songs, I switched to using Windows Movie Maker, the one and only video editing software available to me at the time. This is how I was able to do things like having the text type out on screen in Lootlustin and adding a GIF to the end of Livid Times. I wish I could tell you what the first video to go through Windows Movie Maker was, but I honestly don't know. I can tell you that it was either Amazing Grace or Chips and Salsa, both of which could have easily been made with YouTube Video Editor. At some point, I stopped using YouTube Video Editor to edit my videos altogether. Besides being my first video with a GIF in it, Livid Times is also the first video with the credits roll at the end. This was something I could only do on Windows Movie Maker. Now, I don't watch Doctor Who. I have no idea what weeping angels are supposed to be in the Doctor Who universe. I think I read a little bit about them on Wikipedia and thought, that sounds cool, I'll put it in my video. So, no, the Emagination Productions song Weeping Angel is not inspired by the Weeping Angels from Doctor Who. That was the name I had chosen for the song before, and when I went to Google Images to find a picture of an angel crying, I stumbled upon the whole Doctor Who thing. What Weeping Angel is, however, is the first video on this channel that was an actual you know, video. After I figured out how to make cover art for my music, it took a second before I realized people probably don't just want to stare at a still image for 2 minutes while they listen to music. This is YouTube after all, not Spotify. So I compiled 4 different images of a weeping angel from the internet and put them together to tell a simple story. In the very next video, Digital World, I planned on making the cover art a GIF by using a GIF as the background in Google Drawings and then downloading the image as a GIF file. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way, so I ended up just making the second half of the video a whole bunch of GIFs vaguely related to 20th and 21st century technology. The next major change came at the end of Pokemon theme song, the first ever occurrence of an official Emagination Productions end card that would go on to replace the usual credit scroll. During this time at the end of 2017, I continued making music videos in the style I had made them before, but I began to worry that my channel wasn't gaining any views. It wasn't blowing up like I imagined it would in my 14-year-old imagination. The only video that had broken 100 views at the time was Strobe Light's EDM, which I assumed had done so well because it had EDM in the title. Now, at this point, I had already done things to try and boost views before. About half of the views on my earliest videos came from me just watching my own videos over and over again, because I thought YouTube's algorithm favored videos that already had a lot of views over those that had very few, and the more views a video gets within its first day or so of release, the more likely it is to be recommended to people who haven't seen it before. I don't actually know if any of that is true, but the point is, I was no stranger to trying to cheat my way into higher view counts. Things That Fly original song was the first video to feature a series of GIFs, but no official cover art. It was also supposed to have lyrics originally, but I couldn't be bothered and also no microphone. I included original song in the title in hopes that more people would see it and think, an original song I've never heard before? Let's try it out! The very next upload, Lucifer EDM, also had a clickbait title to try and bring back the audience that loved strobe lights. It was also the first piece of cover art that didn't feature the title of the song or Emagination Productions anywhere on it. So I mentioned I didn't have a microphone, which made videos with speech in them very difficult. The only way around this was to put text up on the screen and let the viewer read, which is admittedly not a good alternative. I wanted to do more different kinds of videos besides just music because this is YouTube after all, not Spotify. So in August of 2017, through the power of Google Drawings, Google Images, Windows Movie Maker, and a very bad idea of what comedy is, I constructed How to Math. The video originally wasn't going to feature any of my own music as to not distract from the visual, aka reading aspect of it, but one copyright strike later, and I decided to just use Saxy Walk for the second half of the video. How to Math had 3 significantly lower quality follow-ups, How to English, How to Chemistry, and How to Holiday, the latter 2 of which are no longer available because of 2017 edgy internet humor and bad opinions that I no longer hold. Fun fact, the How to English video actually has grammatical errors in it, like when I called Emagination Productions a pronoun and is a conjunction. After How to Math, the videos in the How To series were all rushed and didn't have a lot of thought put into them, and only a year later I decided to discontinue the entire series with a video called How to YouTube, which is also no longer available. You might be thinking this is the first video on the channel where I go into the history of the channel, but you'd be wrong. That video would be Synthesia On MuseScore, a video with a clickbait title and a stellar like to dislike ratio. I don't know why y'all are so disappointed. I mean, you saw the thumbnail, you knew what you were getting into. To my knowledge, this is also the last video I made using YouTube Video Editor, several videos apart from For Elise Remix, the second to last. Before we move past the 2017 era, I have to mention 2 more videos, Emagination Productions' Lonely Piano, and Pokemon Center Theme. No, not that one, the other one. Yeah. So, the official name for the theme song of this channel is Lonely Piano. It was a song I made around the time this channel was started, and like Things That Fly, it was originally gonna have lyrics. It was actually the 10th video I uploaded to this channel, more on that in a bit, but its status as a theme song was very du jour at first. It never appeared outside that one video. At least that was until Pokemon Center Theme, the first video to feature Lonely Piano playing during the end card. Anyone who's seen an Emagination Productions video post-2019 might be surprised to know that probably more than half of the videos on this channel don't actually have that tune playing over their end card, if they even have an end card. The period from 2018 to 2019 saw very few uploads, especially in comparison to 2017. There's actually a very simple explanation for this. I gave up on the channel. When I started Emagination Productions, I was a delusional 14-year-old, thinking I would blow up and become a famous yet anonymous musician by posting dozens of original songs on my own YouTube channel. At the very least, I expected to have a significant following or a small internet community dedicated to my music. Of course, this was highly unrealistic. By the end of 2017, my video count was already past 90, but my subscriber count had yet to cross into double digits. I released a video called How to YouTube, where I talked more about my disillusionment and wanting to give up on the channel, but I ended up deleting it later on. I still made music during that 2-year period, but I didn't upload nearly as much. For reference, there are 92 videos currently available on this channel from 2017. Compare that to only 13 videos from 2018 and just 8 from 2019. The one thing I can say about this period is that I continued playing with the format of the cover art. In Auld Lang Syne, I sort of brought back the old format, but replaced the name of the song with 2018 since it was a New Year's special. For Jingle Bells and Sonata, I kept the title of the song but dropped Emagination Productions, while Experimental Piece, Rainy Day, and Candyland all featured the channel name in their cover art but not the title of the song. By the time I got to Papillon, one of my personal favorites, I had somewhat settled on putting the song title in the center and having Emagination Productions in the bottom right corner, although this pattern broke for Rhapsody and Remix. I don't remember why I decided to get back into making music for this channel, but I like to think one video in particular had something to do with it. Driftfell City Remix is, in my eyes, an absolute masterpiece. Not only am I proud of the music, but the visual aspect in the middle took a few days of Google image surfing to put together, and I couldn't be happier with the way it turned out. There are actually a lot of songs from around this time period that I'm more satisfied with. Alien Waltz was my first song with the 5/4 time signature. Papillon was an attempt to make a song without percussion, and it turned out amazing. Rhapsody and Remix is still the channel trailer for people who aren't subscribed yet. Experimental Piece is probably doing some cultural appropriation with that cover art, but is otherwise an awesome song. I ended off 2019 with a song I wrote back in 2017 when I first downloaded MuseScore called Armageddon, with the idea that, wouldn't it be funny if 2020 turned out to be an awful year, even though everyone's hyping it up to be awesome? LOL. Needless to say, it was a lot funnier back in 2019. January of 2020 seemed like a promising time. I decided to start the year off with Future City, a dramatic thematic piece with a slideshow-type video showcasing sci-fi worlds before ending with the current standard for Emagination Productions cover art. The title of the song in the center with Happy 2020 instead of the title, and the words Emagination Productions stacked in caveat font in the bottom right corner. The new year also came with a new end card that featured a music note and thanks for listening instead of thanks for watching. I also stopped asking people to like and subscribe because cringe. Although 2020 wasn't the best year for anyone, all that time spent inside gave me the free time I needed to invest in my music again. I released Royal Wings, a powerful mashup of two excellent songs, Papillon and Kings and Queens. I watched people throw shade at Kings and Queens for not being the Ava Max song, even though my song came first. I released Pokemon Center Remix, yes that one of my favorite remixes to this day. I branched out to a new app called Soundtrap to make Sunrise. I drastically improved my Google drawing skills to create a shining gold effect for Desert Demon. Alien Sand and Lunarian became the bosses of a new alien-themed playlist, and like ashes from a fire, I had my rebirth. Like flowers bursting with springtime jubilee, after a long and wicked winter, I had my full bloom. The final song from 2020 that I'm super proud of is Metronome Melody, a song based around using a metronome as percussion. Of course, I didn't use an actual metronome because that's not an option on MuseScore's list of instruments, but I still think what I did was cool. That's not to say that the other songs from 2020 weren't good. I actually don't think I had any bad songs that year. They just pale in comparison to their glorious siblings. As I continue to grow as an artist, it's pretty much inevitable that I'll end up disliking and even cringing at former works of mine. I can't express with words how common it is for me to look back at a previous video I uploaded in 2017 or even 2018 and go, did I really make that? Did I really think that was good enough to put on the internet for potentially millions of people to see? This is a good thing. After all, if you don't cringe at your former self, how do you even know you're growing? With that cringe, however, comes the desire to take down previous videos. Obviously, I can't just take down every old video of mine that doesn't fit the standards I hold myself to today, otherwise more than half of this channel would be gone. But I have had to delete some past videos that were just too painful for me to go back and watch. I've also had to go back and update videos like Ballad of America, which had a message in it that I didn't understand was harmful at the time. Emagination Productions was never intended to be just a music channel. This is YouTube after all, not Spotify. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad I wasn't putting my 14 and 15-year-old hot takes out there on the internet for everyone to see. Those videos would not have aged well. But now that I've matured somewhat, and actually have access to a microphone, I think it's time to start a new chapter in the history of this channel. Welcome to the 2022 era of Emagination Productions.